Hey guys, good morning, welcome back. If this is your first time here, my name is Tiffany Parker. I am the owner of the Livable Forest, Houston's #1 social media network, and today's video is all about how to spot a scam when it comes to vendor markets. And this is so crazy to me sometimes, because sometimes when I'm looking at these events online, especially on Facebook, you literally could tell that it's a scam, but yet there are people that are commenting, asking for information, asking for this, that, and the third, and it's like they don't have all this in the post. I'm assuming that this is a fraud anyway. However, there are people who are new to the game, so I'm your girl. I'm gonna help you out. Okay, we're gonna jump right in. So the very first thing is the unusual low booth fees. Now, I am not opposed to affordable vendor markets. My vendor markets were $50 for a very long time, for many, many years, until I upped the price of $100, because $100 is pretty standard across most markets that are really good, okay? But I'm talking about the people that are charging $15, $25, in that ballpark. $50 is a little bit low too, depending on what all they're offering, because sometimes these people be offering the sun, the moon, and everything else for $50. I'm like, how are you going to afford it with that? But unusual booth fees, okay? So check that. Keep that in the back of your head. Keep that one in your back pocket, okay? No verified contact information. Oh my God. You can't call them. You can't email them. Hell, you could barely DM them on Facebook, because when you click on their profile, there's nothing there. So you need to make sure when you're looking at these listings, pick up the phone, call the number, email the email that they have, send an email, see how fast they get back to you, okay? Call the venue. Man, everything that they say or do or whatever in their post, verify it, okay? Poorly written communication. When you look at a post on Facebook in these groups and they have like this mashed up paragraph of it just looks bad grammar. Everything is like, it's just really poorly written. The flyer is kind of thrown together. It's poorly written. I would skip right over that, okay? No social media presence. Let me tell you how many people do not check to see if the organizer or the event producer has an actual presence on Facebook. And we're going to get into that in another video on why it's important for event producers to have an online presence on social media as well as their own website. It is very important. But yeah, no social media presence. You're over here trying to host an event, but yet you don't even use social media, or you're a fake profile. You're a scammer at the end of the day. You're a fly-by-nights. You got people who have actual profiles, but they're fly-by-nights. They realize, oh, this is a really easy, quick way to make a couple of bucks. Let me go ahead and throw an event out there and see who bites. And those are the type of event coordinators that do not show up to market. They don't communicate. They don't do anything. They just collect your money and they ghost you at the end of the day. So you need to make sure they have a social media presence. And I'm not talking about for the last couple of months. I'm talking about for the last year or more. Year or more is good. Ideal is 2+, okay? Unclear event location. We are going to be in the parking lot of the grocery store. Okay, what grocery store? Where is this grocery store located? Is this grocery store located here? Is it located in the suburbs, in the city, out there in the boonies? Where is it located? Or we're hosting at this friendly neighborhood park. Okay, where's this park? Where's the location? Where's the address? And on top of that, even if they did have an address, you need to call the city to make sure that they actually reserve that and they're actually allowed to host a market there, because a lot of these city parks, they don't allow markets and things like that, like for-profit stuff. You could host like parties, birthday parties and things like that, because they have designated venues for that type of stuff, okay? So you need to call regardless of the fact if they have a listing of the location or not. But yes, a very vague location. They're not even telling you what part of town. Hell, they need to put the address. If they don't put the address, I'm for sure skipping right over you. Okay? No proof of previous events. Now, there are people who are just now starting out that are trying to build their markets. It takes time, because I remember when I started out, I didn't have any events either. You don't have any events. But what I did have was a social media presence for years, and I was very active in my community doing different things. People knew me, and this also plays a part on me hosting my markets in the area that I grew up in. So when I started, it wasn't like, who the heck are you? It was more like, oh, okay. So if you're just now starting out, try to start out in a location where you are known, especially when you're starting something like this, in a location where you're known. So it's not so much of a who the heck are you or a surprise to people. It's more of a, oh, she started something new, or oh, he started something new. Let me check this out. But yes, if you have no social media presence and you have no history in the area that you're trying to host, it's hard, because right now people's money is tight. Folks don't have time to play. So if I was a new vendor coming into the game, I would probably only spend money with somebody who has proof, to be honest, who has proof, or I can go to their profile and see that they are active, and see that they are known where they're trying to host, okay? Unverified promises. When somebody says, we are going to have so-and-so come out and perform at this market. Okay, if so-and-so is actually coming out to perform, I should be able to call so-and-so's agency. I should be able to call them directly and verify this information. I should be able to call, if they're like a celebrity, I should be able to call their agency and verify this information. Everything, performances, all of that should be verified. On top of that, if you are actually having live entertainment like that, I would definitely call and verify that, because people will throw people's names around for promotional purposes to gain hype, and it's all a lie. Okay, same goes for I couldn't really say amenities, not amenities, but like rides and stuff. But what I would look at is, if somebody tells me they're going to have a full-blown concert at their market, they're going to have a trackless train, they're going to have this, they're going to have that, but they're only charging $25 or $50 for this event, that's a red flag. Red flag, red flag, okay? Okay, unverified promises. Also, you could check the history, because there are people who host events that are just really terrible, and they always say they're going to do something at their market and they never do it. So you can always check to see if they actually did it. This is why it's important to go to people's markets that you are interested in. You don't have to announce that you're there to scope the scene. Just go, check it out. Look at the flyer. They say they're gonna have A, B, C, and D. Do you see A, B, C, and D? And if you don't, what you could do is go to the event organizer or their associates or whatever and ask, hey, where's da-da-da-da-da at? And then they should be able to give you an actual answer, because obviously some people get canceled on or things don't go as planned. But normally, like me, if something's not going to go as planned, I let people know well in advance so they can make a decision if they want to attend or not. Okay? Demand for immediate payment. Oh my God, this is like the kicker. Like when people, when I see posts saying you have to pay by, not by, because I have due dates on mine, but it's usually a month out from an event. But you got some event coordinators that will tell you, if you don't pay today, you can't, this spot is going to be taken by so-and-so. If you can't pay within the next couple of 48 hours, the price is going to go up. Like all these weird, stupid tactics that folks do. And that I can admit this. I've done it to where I was like, okay, if because I was learning how to sell, and I ran across teachings where it says if you create scarcity, then people move faster. Hell no, they don't move faster. It actually kind of pisses them off. Excuse my French, but it kind of makes them mad because it's like, well, I just found out who you were like 20 minutes ago and you're telling me I have to pay you $100 and something right now. I haven't even done my research on you, girl. Like, no, what I tell people is I tell them, hey, my events are very popular. I actually have, my markets are X amount of percent booked because I've been doing this going on 9 years. This year will be my 9th year. So a lot of my vendors, they'll book for the next event, like the next year's events in the previous year, like in their current year, right? So with that said, I feel like if somebody's demanding money from you up front, that is a red flag. You should not feel pressured to book immediately. Like really, when somebody tells me, hey, I'm interested, I direct them to my website. I tell them to look over things. If they have any questions, reach out. And then there's people who do host good markets and they do try to demand the money up front. But that's coming from a scarcity mindset. And you think you're not gonna book, you think they're not gonna book, you think they're gonna find somebody better, or they're gonna see something else and they're gonna want to go to that. And that's fine. You don't need to worry about that. You don't need to think like that. What you need to do is just keep making sure your markets are better and better every time. Make sure that your communication is well. Make sure that your website is up to date. Make sure everything is running smoothly. Make sure you are communicating as effectively and showing up for your people on a regular basis. But on a regular day, you're just on social media and you inquire about an event and somebody says, hey, yeah, it's $35. Can you pay me right now? I got cash out, da, 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 da. Now, for people like that, like I don't normally like to take cash app and stuff like that, but I've done it and I still do it with people that I've been vending with for years. I've been vending with me for years. This never really new people. Never, ever really new people. Now, I have some people that are like elderly that they just don't do the online thing. But so I make exceptions, but for the most part, all my payments are taken through the website. Okay. They have no refund or credit policy. I have a credit policy. I don't do the refund thing because I've dealt with that in the past where people want to get refunds because they didn't show up to market. And with the credits, I have it to where people can credit another event, but they have to pick something within the year. They cannot say, oh, I want a credit, and then they wait 5 years to do it. Because that's happened to me a lot of times. And when I start going into the next series, when we're talking about how to be a good event producer, I'm going to talk to you guys about how to spot bad vendors, okay? Or how to, like, what it means to have a block list, what it means, like a no vend list, what it means when you're looking for, what it looks like to look for good vendors and verify good vendors. We're going to go into all of that. But if you are a vendor looking for an event and they're telling you that there's no refunds whatsoever, rain, snow, sleet, whatever, there's no credit policies or anything, like nothing in the event that they cancel. If they cancel because of whatever reason, there should always at minimum be a credit to another event. And this is why it's important to see who you're vending with, because if they don't have any other events scheduled, how the heck do you know when they're going to give you your credit? You're going to be able to use your credit. So that's another thing as a vendor looking for a market to attend. See what has been booked, like see what they've done in the past, but also see what they're going to do in the future. I love to book my markets 1 year out in advance so that when I do start booking for this year, people can go ahead and book for next year as well too. No official vendor agreement. If you don't have a vendor agreement, I don't even know what you're doing. Like, I feel like this is like standard. When I first started, I knew I had to have some type of agreement, whether it was something I typed up, mine's a bit more sophisticated now, but if they don't have a vendor agreement and you book with them and they don't have an event, you can't get upset. You can complain, moan and complain all day on social media, but it doesn't mean anything, because your complaint isn't getting your money back. Your complaint isn't going to stop them from keep doing what they're doing. Moving on, somebody who doesn't have a professional website or email. So I don't really care too much about the email, even though I have a professional email, but I do care about the website. I feel like it is 2025. There are way too many resources available to where you should have a website. Facebook, I think a website is so much better because Facebook can shut down whatever. It shows that you're more credible, you're more invested into this than just somebody who's just doing this for the heck of it. So I would look at their website. I would see how it's laid out. If it's thrown together, you will definitely be able to tell if it's thrown together. No local presence or licensing. So for one, most venues require you to have insurance to even get started. You have to have insurance. Most venues, all venues require insurance. This goes back to no social media presence, and then what was it? No social media presence or no proof of previous events. When you have no local presence, meaning like nobody knows who you are in the area that you're trying to host, it makes it extremely difficult for somebody who is a vendor trying to make an educated decision on spending money with you. So look for that. Make sure they have a local presence. Does this person, are they involved in whatever, the PTA, the PTO? Do they volunteer with so-and-so or whatever? Do you see them doing anything in the community? You have to go to their profile. You have to go into their profile and see what they are doing, because most people post literally everything that they do for vanity, really. But go and look at their news feed and see what they're posting. One, you want to make sure they're not posting controversial things that are hurtful, things that are mean, that are marginalizing. Like, you don't want any of that. You want them to just be posting like regular people stuff, okay? Especially since they're business owners. Like, if you go to my page, I post about my life. I post about my life and my business, and I do this stuff, right? What you're seeing is what I do. What I put on the internet, I am proud and I stand behind, and I am not ashamed of it whatsoever, okay? And then last, vague or unresponsive. Now, there are a lot of vendors who complain to me about other event producers who don't answer phone calls, who don't answer emails. And when they do answer them, it's like days, if not weeks. And then it's like a couple of weeks or days before the event and they didn't get any information. For me, my vendors, I have a community that I built for them. It works just like a social media platform. They have groups there. They can contact me there. I'm usually on there a lot throughout the day. We actually have an app that I currently took down temporarily because I needed to fix some bugs that were going on it and revamp to make it look more the way I envisioned and more user friendly. Oops, excuse me, if that makes sense. Also, I feel like for me, when it comes to answering vendors, if you call my personal phone, you probably won't get an answer from me for a while because that's my personal phone. I'm actually getting ready to get another number for my personal use, and then the number that people have been calling me on, that'd be my business phone, that I'd probably leave at my house and only check through business day, like hours. But as far as emails go, I usually try to email people within the day, actually. If you are in a business, and especially if it's just you and you're trying to build your revenue, you're trying to build your business, it's best to respond to people within at least, 48 hours tops. 48 hours tops. And phone calls, try to return phone calls, but I prefer emails. If you do text me. I prefer text because when you call me, I could be literally in the middle of the freeway and I probably won't answer you. And I probably won't call you back until I'm completely done with everything I got going on. And that could be late at night, and so I won't call you. So send a text and I will send a text reply. But the best way to contact me is through my platform, thelivableforest.com. Create an account. It's free. Contact me, post, whatever. Also, I prefer email as well too. But yeah, if you have an event producer who can't even contact you or, at all, and it's taking them more than 3 days to get back to you, red flag. So I hope this helps a lot of you guys out there looking for vendor markets when it comes to verifying if it's a scam or not. This right here this is 13 things to look for, okay? With extra on top. This is serious. This is really serious because a lot of people are losing money. A lot of people are getting scammed, and I don't like to see it. So anyways, if you guys have any questions, comment below. By the way, these videos, there's 15 videos in this series that I'm doing. This is video number 2, okay? The next one that next video is going to be how to verify an event producer. Yes, how to verify an event producer. And that one's not going to be as long as this one because we were talking about scams all over, but we're talking about what an event producer should have. So it's going to be, some things are going to be similar, but we're going to go in more depth, you know what I mean, when it comes to the actual person that you are. Because remember, just because it's a business, that person also is representing that business, and you have to be able to align with them. You want to be able to look at what they stand for and a lot of other things before you attach yourself financially and business-wise to them, okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely comment below if you have any questions. Definitely join the Livable Forest community. Post about your business. You can post about your business, create business pages, whatever. Create groups, do the whole thing. It is Houston's #1 social media platform. All right, you guys have a good one. Bye.